श्री गुरवे नमः। कराग्रे वसते लक्ष्मी करमध्ये सरस्वती करमूले तु गोविन्द प्रभाते करदर्शनम् समुद्रवसने देवी पर्वतस्थन्नमण्डले विष्णुपत्नी नमस्तुभ्यं पादस्पर्शं क्षमस्व मे। हरिः ओम। बोलिए गजानन स्वामी की जय, धरती माता की जय, जय श्री राम। गणेश जी भजन।
गाये गणपति जगवंदन,
गाये गणपति जगवंदन,
गाये गणपति जगवंदन,
गाये गणपति जगवंदन।
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन,
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन,
गाये गणपति जगवंदन,
Suvana Bhavani Nandana
गाये गणपति जगवंदना
बोलिए गजानन स्वामी की जय जय श्री राम Namaskar everyone and welcome to the Hindu Prachaar Kendra's Sunday morning Satsang, live as usual from our Sri Ram Vijay Mandir located at Jalibia Trace, Raghunanan Road in Enterprise, Central Trinidad. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's always a joy to be in your company for Satsang. It's been a very wet and rainy morning for us here in Trinidad. So those of you who are in the Mandir, thank you for braving the bad weather to join us. But even, bad weather shouldn't stop us from coming to Satsang. So I want to encourage you right away to share our links and encourage others to join us, especially today. From time to time, we divert from our usual satsang format when there's a need to focus on something different, on something special, and today is one such day. While we always try to ensure all our satsangs are very special and valuable, sometimes some of them feel more special and more valuable than the rest. And today we feel like we are going to have a very special session, and this is because it is focused on a phenomenal personality who has played such an important role in our way of life as Hindus, and every Hindu in the Caribbean and the wider diaspora should know about him. And I'm speaking of none other than Sant Goswami Tulsi Das Baba. And this Thursday coming, it is his 525th birth anniversary, so a special landmark birth anniversary also. And I don't know, you just give some thought. Can you imagine our Sanatana way of life without Ramayana, without Ramcharitmanas? What to talk about Hanuman Chalisa for us in this country and in this region? Just think of it. From since the time of our Jahajis, even before they left Bharat to come here, and all throughout the decades of indentureship, the compositions of Sant Goswami Tulsi Das Baba, particularly the Ramcharitmanas, which we call Ramayana here, they have been an unmatched source of solace and strength for our Jahajis, and it's serving us so well up until now. So we'll explore the role and the impact of Tulsi Das Baba in between all the special pieces that we are singing this morning. So our satsang is going to be very fully loaded because there's so much to share. And Krishnaji started us off very beautifully with Gaye Ganapati. This bhajan, it's a composition of Sant Goswami Tulsi Das Ji. And I noticed he was repeating the last verse a couple times with the name Tulsi Das, is very appropriate. So it is the first composition of a text called the Vinay Patrika. So we got a good start, and now Sirumani Ji is going to lead us all in a piece that we love very much, the Sri Ram Stuti. So before we start singing, let me just share this bit of information with you. This is the most popular composition of Tulsi Das Baba's Vinay Patrika. This book, it is one of his 5 major works, and it is a petition of humility. The text, it's a petition of humility, and it consists of 279 compositions. The Ram Stuti is number 45, which is the first composition in this book. Gaye Ganapati. So Ram Stuti is number 45. And the Vinay Patrika, it is composed in the form of a petition. Look, we have a lawyer visiting us this morning. Ronaldji, thank you for joining us. When you go before the court to put forward your case and you make a petition, so in the court of Bhagwan Sri Ramachandra, Tulsi Das Baba is there making a petition on behalf of bhakti. What a concept, very beautiful. And the first 43 verses of this text, they are the invocation and address to the devas and all the attendants in the court, and the rest of it addressed to Sri Rama himself, who was the Ishtadev of Goswami Tulsidas Baba. And many scholars, they consider Vinay Patrika to be Tulsi Baba's second best work after Ramcharitmanas, not Hanuman Chalisa. I know person Trinidad might say, no, that is not so. But in terms of the literature, okay, it is his second best work. And one of the reasons, it's because this was the last text he wrote before he passed on. So his entire life's experiences, it is poured into this particular text. What's the name of the text? Vinay Patrika. Okay? So we join with Siromani Ji in Sri Ramastuti, which we are dedicating to our dear Bhavani Ji, whose birthday is today. So she's always a big support for me and putting together all of the lyrics and everything that you see coming on screen, all the posts, the flyers and so on. So a very blessed, beautiful, happy birthday to Bhavani Ji. Boliye Siyapati Ramachandra ki Jai, Jai Shri Ram.
Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Shri Ram, Shri Ramachandra Kripal Bharman Harana Bhava Bhairanam Navakanja Lokana Kanja Mukhakar Kanja Parakanjanam Shri Ram.
Ki Jai, Jai Shri Ram. What are our three special satsang words? Keep the bhav. This is what keeping the bhav is about. So absolutely sweet and beautiful. So after Shri Ram Stuti, we move on to one of our local compositions here in Trinidad. And this, of course, is in honor of Tulsi Das Baba. This is our mantra of the year, 1997. And this was a grand year for us at the Hindu Prachaar Kendra, those of you who have been with us for a long time, because 1997 was dedicated to the 500th birth anniversary of Tulsi Das Baba. And at the Hindu Prachaar Kendra, we had organized many events to not just celebrate his life, but to create awareness and knowledge of Sant Goswami Tulsi Das Baba. Actually, we have been commemorating Tulsi Das Jayanti this year for 32 years. Now, Mantra of the Year 1997, it was composed by Ravi Ji, and it is a most fitting tribute to the text, to the Ramcharitmanas, to the author, and to the role and vision of both in our Jahaji history and in our lives. So I know the text will be brought up on the screen. Please follow along wherever you can. Tulsi Das Baba composed in Awadhi, the language of the people. This is composed in English, which is the language of our people, but it retains the verses of the Shastra. Boliye Siyapati Ram Chandra Ki Jai, Jai Shri Ram. Mantra of the year 1997.
Ram, Sri Ram, 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 Tulsi Ram. May Ajahn once took me to Baithe by Devi. May Ajahn once took me to Baithe by Devi. There from the book of Tulsi Das, revealing song the whole cosmos. There from the book of Tulsi Das, revealing song the whole cosmos. Siya Ram mein sab jag jani. Siya Ram mein sab jag jani. Karo pranam jori jug pani. Karo pranam jori jug pani. The soul of everything we see is that Sita Rama, the vulture to one honeybee, cause of Sita Rama. Everywhere, whatever be, is in Sita Rama. Siya Rama mein sab jag jani. Siya Rama mein sab jag jani. Karo pranam jori jug pani. Karo pranam jori jug pani. This is the center man must find to make a place for every kind. Ram Raj is when this truth rules, always our needs and our views. Ajahn then told me the katha of our destiny from Tulsi Das, another verse of our path in the universe. Raghula Riti Sada Chali Aayi, Pran Jau Par Vachan न जाई. Siya Ram is the holy seed for every creed and every need. So our plan from that first रघुकुल रीति सदा चली आई, प्राण जाऊं वन वचन न जाई। Rama, Buddha, Gandhi, every color of every Chandi, the diya in the yard at night, alone burning gives us light. Hanuman's flying, his love, his might, stand for Kula Dharma's light. राम सदा सेवक रुचिराती, राम सदा सेवक रुचिराती। वेद पुराण साधु सुर साखी, वेद पुराण साधु सुर साखी। राम सदा सेवक रुचिराती, राम सदा सेवक रुचिराती। श्री राम, तुलसी तुलसी तुलसी
बोलिए सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, गोस्वामी तुलसीदास की जय, जय Shri Ram. So before we start looking at the life of Sant Goswami Tulsidas Baba, there's one more small piece that we must chant. Te Dhanya Tulsidas. This is the last line of the closing chant that comes at the end of Aranyakand. It is just after a samvad, a conversation between Bhagwan Sri Rama and Narad Muni. And it's a short line, just one line of that chant. And what does it say? Blessed are they, says Tulsidas, who giving up all hopes, they are immersed in love for Sri Rama. I remember once talking to the children in the Heritage Vacation course and explaining this verse to them because we teach these pieces to them. You know, long ago, well, I think many young people do this now. When you have pumsite and plums and all of these green fruits, you would make a special concoction to pickle it. Salt and seasonings and all of that. Look how some of them are smiling. And you leave it immersed there. What? Soaking, right? Now, if you take it one day after, what Prav is shaking his head. So how many days after, Prav? Long, for it to be well pickled and perfectly soaked. Yes, Devananji, like when Annaji is making all the nice achar for us. You know, so, see, these are very practical things, but it explains well what Tulsidas Baba is saying in this, where the rust, you absorb the rust and you merge with it. You become one with it. There is no difference. So bhakti, it is not a superficial emotion. This is why we talk so much about bhav in the mandir. So let's sing this together. Te dhanya tulsidas asa bihai je hari rangarai. Join me.
Te dhanya tulsidas asa, te dhanya tulsidas asa, bihai je hari rangarai, bihai je hari rangarai. Tulsi Das.
Boliye Goswami Tulsi Das ki Jai, Jai Shri Ram. All these pieces are just so beautiful. So let's look at the life of this great sant poet who is the pivot, the backbone, the foundation on which our Hindu way of life is built here in the Caribbean. This is why when we hosted the year of activities in his honor and memory in 1997, he was declared and celebrated as the father of the Hindu Caribbean. Now, he did not have an easy life at all. Who here is having a very easy life right now? Sometimes it might be easier, sometimes very challenging. So he did not have an easy life, especially during his childhood. So he was born in 1497 on the 7th day of the Shukla Paksh, which is the bright half of the month of, which month are we in? Shravan. Okay, so the month of Shravan, we've spent 2 sessions looking at Shravan Mass. His father was Atmaram Dubey and his mother was Tulsi. Now, whenever you hear the lives of many of these sants, those who have lived many centuries ago, there are many variations. And generally, we take what is the popular and common belief as presented by the scholars and so on. So it is said there were many strange occurrences when he was born. It is said he was born at an inauspicious time. But he was born in the month of Shravan, which we say is so very auspicious. So we have to understand when we say certain things, what really are we saying? Then it is said he was in the womb for almost 12 months. He was born with teeth in his mouth. He was quite a big baby, having stayed in the womb for such a long time, looked like almost a 2-year-old. And he didn't cry when he was born. What did he do? Ram. This is why he was named Ram Bola, the one who said Ram. And just after he was born, about 3-4 days after, his mother passed on. Now, these inauspicious and very strange events, it made Atmaram very fearful. This father was very fearful for his son's life. And so he entrusted him to the domestic helper, the maid there in the home, Munia. And Munia took Rambola to her village, Haripur, and she cared for him there until her passing, about 5 years later. So by the age of 5, Rambola was orphaned and he became a street child. He himself wrote, Chahat rahiyo swan patari, jo kabahu na peta bharo, kahi dwar dwar bar bar, pari na chhar muhabayu. He said, I licked the remains of plates. Chat. My hunger was never satisfied. Na peta bharu. Most times, there was nothing to fill my stomach. I was refused at every door again and again. Not even char. See the description he used. Not even char. Ashes was given to me. So difficult. This is why Raviji described him so appropriately. He who rose from street child to world teacher. This is our son Goswami, Tulsi Das Baba. Now it is said that Devi Parvati appeared in a dream to the Guru Narahari Das, who was in Chitrakoot at that time. And he came in search of Rambola. So he was adopted by Guru Narahari Das, and at the age of 7, his Upanayan Sanskar was done by Guru Narahari Das in Ayodhya. And his formal learning started there. Now Rambola was assigned the duty of caring for which plant? The Tulsi plants by the name Tulsi. This was the special duty given to him by the Guru. You look after the Tulsi plants. And he was so dedicated to that duty. He was so meticulous that when the Guru observed him, he said, your name will be Tulsi Das, the one who is that pure, genuine servant caring for the Tulsi plants. And it's a great lesson for us. Apart from seeing how to overcome challenges in our lives, whatever task assigned to you, it doesn't matter. You may think it's small, it's minor. Others may think so. It doesn't matter how simple it may be or seem to you. Be diligent and strive for excellence in all that you have to do. I always remember, and I have spoken about this before, a child, Avinash, who had to be a tree in our Balram Dilla, right? Nobody wants to be a tree, okay? But you could not find a better tree than that child. And the rain started drizzling, and others were scampering off the field, but the tree just stood there, enjoying the showers of the rain. It was a great lesson for us. So strive for excellence in everything that you have to do. It doesn't matter how simple it may seem. So from Ayodhya, Tulsi Das was sent by his guru to Kashi, to Varanasi. And there he studied Sanskrit, the Vedas, all the other Shastras, Jyotishi, the Panchang, Hindu philosophy for about 16 years. He stayed with Guru Shesha Sanatan, who was a dear friend of Guru Narahari Das. So there was no rivalry between gurus, between the teachers. A great lesson also for all of us. After completing his studies with his guru's permission, he returned to his birthplace, Rajapur. So what's the name of the birthplace of Sant Goswami Tulsidas Baba? Rajapur. Rajapur. It is in Chitrakoot. When he went there, his father Atmaram had long passed, and Tulsidas Baba started staying there in his ancestral home. And it was there that he started narrating Ram Katha daily. It was there that he started imparting all that he had studied. And many would come from far away to listen to the mesmerizing kathas that he would tell. Tulsidas married Ratnavali, and they had a son named Taraka. Taraka died as a toddler. So the challenges and difficulties never stopped. It continued to be difficult. It is said once when Tulsidas had gone to the mandir, as he was accustomed to doing and spending long periods of time there, Ratnavali went to visit her parents. And when he came back, he did not see her, you know. Now remember, he had never experienced the love of someone so close except for his guru. So he felt that he could not stay without Ratnavali. And there were thunderstorms. The weather was very bad. I would say this morning what we had was very, very quiet compared to what was described at that time. So he went there to get her, to fetch her, to bring her back home. And she chided him for this and remarked that if he was half as devoted to Sri Rama as he was to her body of flesh and blood, it would serve him quite well. It was a defining moment in his life and a major turning point for him. He contemplated on what Ratnavali had said. And from that time, he renounced the householder's life and he left for Prayaag. to become an ascetic and to pursue knowledge even further. So he spent most of his adult life at Kashi, but he kept on moving in between to Prayaag and to Ayodhya and to Chitrakoot. He traveled across India as well because he wanted to acquire as much knowledge as he could. So he met many gurus, masters, sadhus, and other sons and interacted with many other bhaktas. It was Guru Narahari Das, though, that very first guru, who had related Ram Katha to him many times. And as his own devotion deepened, and after his long years of study and travel, he started to feel this very deep yearning to actually meet Sri Ram. Like, I am ready now, like the pumsite is soaking in that water, the pickle, ready. And he would express this to people. I want to see Rama. I want to meet him in person. And people thought, what? Pagal hai na? That he was crazy. This is not possible. But he was driven by this desire. So he was told, in inquiring and expressing this, that it is only Hanumanji who could grant him this special boon. And he was directed to a place where Ram Katha was being sung and told that Hanuman Baba comes there every day to listen. He is the first to arrive and he is the last to leave. This is also a great lesson, When you come first. See what is there to do. And also, if you can, stay last. See what you can help to do. So it also has a kind of social consciousness and awareness, because in our community organizations, we always have things that need to get done. And Hanuman Baba, well, when it comes to Bhagwan Sri Rama, he wants to be first before the first. Okay, and last after the last. So that evening, Tulsi Das Baba, he went there to observe. And he noticed a very elderly leper was the first to arrive. And as lepers would do, sat aloof one side, and quiet. And Tulsi Das Baba is observing, everybody left. And then this leper was the last to leave. So he very quietly started following the leper into the woods. And I went to this place, Sankapit. So when he went there, and he fell at the feet of the leper, and he said, I know who you are. Huh? I know who you are. You cannot escape from me. And at first, the leper feigned ignorance of what Tulsi Das Baba was saying, but Tulsi Das Baba did not relent. In the pursuit of your bhakti, don't get distracted. Don't give up easily. And of course, Hanuman Baba revealed his true form and blessed Tulsi Das by granting him the boon that he will indeed have darshan of Sri Rama. But for this, he must go to Chitrakoot. The Chitrakoot. And this event is mentioned in the Hanuman Bahuk that Tulsi Das Baba composed. Now, the famous Sankat Mochan Mandir in Kashi, it stands at this very spot where they met. And I feel so emotional every time, because this is where we spend so much of our time while they're in Kashi. So in honor of this meeting of Tulsi Das Baba and Hanuman Baba, in honor of this place that is marked by the Sankat Mochan Mandir, we are going to chant the Hanuman Ashtakam. It is there in the book. For those of you who are here, I just forgot to, page 84. You can follow along with us. And this, of course, is Tulsi Das Baba's writing. Ashtakam, Hanuman Ashtakam, is one of the favorites after Hanuman Chalisa for the Hanuman Bhaktas. It is 8 verses in praise of Hanuman Baba, and it recounts from his childhood to all the glorious kathas for which he is well known and loved. And it says in the refrain, in this world, who doesn't know that your name, O Hanuman Baba, is Sankat Mochan? You take away our Sankat. Sankat means our difficulty or challenges. How does Hanuman Baba do that? By inspiring us, by empowering us and showing us that the biggest challenges can be overcome. Let us praise Sankat Mochan Hanuman Baba. Boliye Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki jai. Goswami Tulsi Das ki jai. Jai Shri Ram.
बाल समय रवि भक्षणियो तब तीनों लोक भयो अंधियारो ताई सो त्रास भयो जगो यह संकट काहू सुनागन तारो देवन आनी घड़ी देनती तब छारे दियो रवि कष्ट निवारो संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो आंखी त्रास कपि सब सही जात महाप्रभु पंथ निहारो चौकी महामुनि छाप दियो तब चाहिए कौन विचार विचारो सुख लाल देह लालील से अरुधरि लाल लंगूर वज्र देह दानव दलन जय 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 कपिसूर पवन सुत हनुमान की जय गोस्वामी तुलसीदास की जय
Jai Shri Ram. So just before we did Hanuman Ashtakam, remember Hanuman Baba instructed him to go to which place? To meet Bhagwan Shri Ram, yes, to Chitrakoot. So he went there and he started staying in an ashram at Ramghat. That place was called Ramghat. And it is written, Tulsi Das Baba, now if you are accustomed, you would see, even in images, if you have not been to India, along the ghats, on the banks of all these sacred rivers, you will have many persons there preparing chandan. They will have all the materials available for those who wish to worship. So he was there making the chandan paste to offer to those who will come there after the snan, bath and so on. And it is written that one day a young boy came and asked for a tilak. And Tulsi Das Baba was so enchanted by the young boy that he forgot that the young boy was waiting and asked for the tilak. And who was that young boy? None other than Bhagwan Sri Rama. So Bhagwan Sri Rama took the chandan made by Tulsi Das Baba, put it for himself and also applied to Tulsi Das Baba, and he went away. It was after some time, Tulsi Das Baba said, if he comes again, he will not escape. And indeed, there was a second encounter, and this time, the Bhakta made no mistake in recognizing Bhagwan. And he wrote about this experience. Chitrakoot mein ghat par hui santan ki bheer, Tulsi Das chandan ghise, tilak dete Raghuveer. So he was able to recognize and to see Bhagwan, his Bhagwan Sri Rama, right before his very eyes. And it is believed that after darshan of both Sri Rama and Hanuman, he started composing his magnum opus, the Ramcharitamanas. And in the Ramayana itself, he has stated, he has written in Balkand, Doha 33, the Chaupais 2 and 3, Sarara Sivahinai Abhamatha Baranau Bisara Rama Gunagatha Sambata Soraha Saikatisa Karau Katha Hari Paradhari Sisa Naumi Bhauma Bar Madhumasa Avarapuriyaha Charita Prakasa Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Boliye Siyapati Ramchandra ki Jai, Jai Shri Ram. So what is written here? What has Tulsi Das Baba stated in the Manas? After paying all obeisance to Bhagwan Shiva, I now proceed to relate the glories, to tell the kathas, the virtues of Shri Rama. Bowing to that very Sri Hari, I begin this composition on Samvat 1631, which in our Gregorian calendar years is 1574. So what year did Tulsi Das Baba start to write Ramcharitmanas? 1574. Naumi Bhauma Bada Madhumasa, on this Ram Naumi day, this katha shed its radiance in Ayodhya. So what was the day? Ram Navami of that year. And there's an interesting observation. Some of us will be familiar with the Pradosh Vrat. Pradosh, twice every month, it is the special day for worship of Bhagwan Shiva. When Pradosh falls on a Monday, it is called Soma Pravesh. When it falls on a Tuesday, it is called Bhauma Pradosh. So Naumi Bhauma See this interesting connection, okay? So it was Sri Ram Navami Day. It was Bhauma Pradosh, meaning it was a Tuesday. And Tuesday is also the special day for worship of Hanuman Baba. So it was not a day chosen by chance. He would have considered all of this. And he completed the first 3 cantos of Ramcharitmanas in Ayodhya. So this is more than half of the text. It was written in Ayodhya. And he then moved to Kashi, where Krishnaji and I lived and stayed, there at Tulsi Ghat, where he wrote the last 4 cantos of Ramcharitmanas. And it took him about 2 years and 8 months, and he completed it on the Ram Sita Vivaha day. So the beginning, the start, and the ending were very blessed and auspicious days. Now, those of us who are familiar listening to the life of Tulsi Das Baba, we would know that the text, the Shastra, faced many challenges. Because remember, it was written in the vernacular, in the language of the people. So the Brahmins of that area, Varanasi, they were very critical of Tulsi Das Baba's writing, and they tried many different ways to destroy the text. But every attempt to destroy it, to malign it, or to belittle it, it all failed. I am not going through the details because our time is almost up. So Tulsi Das Baba remained unfazed, and he continued reciting Ram Katha wherever he went. But he wanted to do more than just recite and narrate. So he started both Ram Leela and Krishna Leela there at Tulsi Ghat, and these continue up till now. And our Balaram Dila group had the blessed opportunity to perform Ram Leela there in January 2019 at the very place where Tulsi Das Baba started Ram Leela. What a blessing, huh? So he lived most of his life at Tulsi Ghat, and there are several miraculous events attributed to him. I hope you are motivated enough to read more and to learn more about him. This Thursday is his Jayanti. Take a half an hour out of your day and go and research and read about his life and his writings. There's so much more to share. Now, as he aged, he was afflicted with acute body pain. But he never stopped composing, and it seemed his bhakti never waned at all. You know, when we are going through difficulties, sometimes we have our doubts. Why is this happening? I am doing everything correctly. My bhakti is so strong. My bhav is so correct. What is this difficulty? He saw this in a very special way to empower his bhakti even further. And it will seem he became even more motivated to write when he was ill because he did several compositions in praise of Hanuman Baba, the Hanuman Bahuk, the Bajrang Ban, and of course Hanuman Chalisa, all of which he wrote while living at Tulsi Ghat. It is said his many writings on Hanuman Baba was his way of showing his deep love and gratitude, one for guiding him to meet Sri Rama, and also because he really believed that Hanuman Baba had healed his disease-riddled body. He believed Hanuman Baba saved him, and his faith was so unwavering that he consecrated, he did the sthapan of 4 Hanuman Murtis at Tulsi Ghat, one facing each direction. So that any side, wherever he lived, when he was living, any side he turned from all the directions, Hanuman Baba will be looking at him. So there are many works that he has, it's a compendium of different poetic styles and languages, Dohavali, Gitavali, Kavitavali, and so many others. He has also composed many bhajans, okay? And he passed there at Tulsi Ghat also in the month of Shravan. Mm-hmm. He was born in the month of Shravan and left this mortal world in the month of Shravan on the 31st of July, 1623. Next year is what year? 2023. So it will be 400 years since his passing. So, sometimes, as I said, there are uncertainties with the dates of birth and deaths and all of that for these sons and poets from many centuries ago, but these are the accepted dates. So because there was someone called Tulsi Das who endured and took risks and was a visionary, we have Ramcharitmanas, we have Hanuman Chalisa and many other devotional writings, and we have Ram Leela. So we must always pay tribute to him, especially in this country where we say this is Ramayan country. And remember our Jahaji Pitris as well, who brought him to us and who brought his Ramcharitmanas to this region. So just as his life, just as Ramcharitmanas nurtured, inspired, and comforted them through their many hardships, may it continue to do the same for us. Raviji has summed it up most appropriately, and I will close off Pravachan this morning. Like I said, it's a lot to share. This is an excerpt from a 1997 article that Raviji had written, and what I am reading, our Pavitraji will present in song as soon as I am finished with the sharing of this excerpt. Raviji wrote in 1997, Tulsi Das comes alive each year when the brightly colored characters of the Sri Ramcharitmanas are enacted in open playing fields. Ram Leela, which is the oldest Caribbean open-air theater, was founded by Tulsi Das in the ancient city of Kashi and brought here by indentured laborers. Tulsi Das moves us at Ramayan Yagyas, and when we reflect and draw upon Raghukula Riti in determining our ideals and our deepest sense of selfhood, no wonder we look upon him who rose from a street child to world teacher as our founding father and claim him as father of the Hindu Caribbean. All that I have shared this morning is beautifully put in this excerpt. And all that we have shared this morning will now be beautifully put in Pichakari. Pavitraji is now going to celebrate with us and honor Tulsi Das Baba in her rendition of Dhanya He Tulsi Das for Ramayana. Thank you, O Tulsi Das Baba, that we have Jhanda and Hindu Dharma, culture and tradition here in the Caribbean. You can follow the lyrics, it will come up on screen. We sing along with Pavitraji, Pichakari, 1997. Boliye Goswami Tulsi Das ki jai.
Dhanya He Tulsi for Ramayan, we have Dharma in the Caribbean. Thank you, O Tulsi, for Ramayan, we have Jhanda in the Caribbean.
Dhanya He Tulsi for Ramayan, we have Dharma in the Caribbean. Thank you, O Tulsi, for Ramayan, we have Jhanda in the Caribbean.
Janda in the Caribbean.
When Sita was in one, she had rebelled, kidnapped by Ravan. Sri Ram sent Hanuman, the colonial plan, to save Ravan. For the Jahajis in the Caribbean, oh, Sri Ram didn't have to come again as man.
He said, Tulsi Ramayan. Dhanya hai Tulsi for Ramayan. We have Dharma in the Caribbean. Thank you, oh Tulsi for Ramayan. We have Janda in the Caribbean. Dhanya hai Tulsi for Ramayan. We have Dharma in the Caribbean.
बोलिए गोस्वामी तुलसीदास की जय जय श्री राम. The language of our people, praising Tulsidas Baba, who wrote in the language of the people at that time. And one line that is my favorite from that: for the Jahajis in the Caribbean, Sri Ram didn't have to come again as man. He sent Tulsi Ji ki Ramayan. So beautiful. Of course, when we close now for Aarti, we must do Hanuman Chalisa. Satsang in praise of Sant Goswami Tulsidas Baba will not be complete without the singing of Hanuman Chalisa. All of you, please stand. Join with us. I don't think we need to have copies of Hanuman Chalisa. It's such a favorite. We join praising Hanuman Baba and we celebrate all that Tulsidas Baba has given to us.
Sri Guru Charana Saroj Arja Nijamana Mukura Sudhari Varno Raghubala Vimala Jashu Jodhayaka Phalachari Buddhina Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavana Kumar Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesh Vikar
Jai Hanuman Gyan Gun Sagar Jai Kapil Sati Guloka Ujagar Ram Duta Tulit Baladhama Anjali Putra Pavana Sutanama Mahavira Vikram Bajrangi Kumati Nivar Sumati Ke Sangi Kanchana Varana Viraj Sumecha Anana Kundala Kunjit Kecha Haath Vajra Raja जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलवीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यहाँ पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होई सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि तेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा
संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। पवन पुत्र हनुमान की
जय
सियापति रामचंद्र की
जय
गोस्वामी तुलसीदास की
Jai Shri Ram. We join in our closing mantras as we pray for everyone and everything. Om Durjano Sajano Bhuyat Sajana Shanti Mapnuyat Shanto Mucheta Bandhebhyo Muktashanyan Vimochayet Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Dhyau Shantirantariksham Shanti Prithvi Shantir Abha Shantir Aushadaya Shantir Vanaspataya Shantir Vishvedeva Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvagum Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredi Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Jag Pranam
सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी करऊ प्रणाम जोरी जुग पानी सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी करऊ प्रणाम जोरी जुग पानी
जय श्री राम चांद जयकार प्रेम से और जोर से बोलिए गजानन स्वामी की श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की उमापति महादेव की जगदम्बे माता की पवन सुत हनुमान की सियापति रामचंद्र की गोस्वामी तुलसीदास की ट्रिनिडाद और टोबैगो देश की बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय 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 सीताराम. Please take your seats, everyone. Just a couple very quick announcements. Before I do the announcements, because we didn't have too much bhajan singing this morning, I want to do two greetings. One is a very blessed, happy 57th, that's 57, right? Wedding anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Ramdi. And our dear Nelson G and Ivy G are having their wedding anniversary today. 57 years, way older than many of us. And tomorrow, one of our dear supporters also, our Mrs. Kalauti Tolan, she's having her birthday tomorrow. So to you, Auntie K. Tolan, a very blessed, happy birthday from all of us here at the Hindu Prachaar Kendra. So announcement for this weekend. On Saturday coming, we will be doing our Sundarkand Parayan. This is the second session of our commemoration of Sant Goswami Tulsi Das Jayanti, which is this Thursday coming. So this morning it was more of the Gyan Kand, learning about his life and all that he has done. And on Saturday coming, it will be more the Bhakti Kand. So we will be doing the Sundarkand Parayana and the 3 Hanuman Chalisas on Saturday coming, Saturday evening, 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. sharp. You are all invited to join us here in the Mandir. That session will not be live streaming. What we will do is to have the session, the recording will be shared on Sunday morning for our Satsang. So we will not be having live Satsang here in the Mandir. We are inviting all of you to join us on Saturday evening instead. And those of you who view us virtually, you'll be able to follow and join along the Sundarkand Parayan. It's a very beautiful exercise to go through, an important sadhana, to chant this Kand from beginning to end in praise of Hanuman Baba, the entire Kand, just like we did the Hanuman. Actually, many people say the Hanuman Ashtakam, it summarizes most of what is there in the Sundarkand. So if you do have the time, please do join us and come and be a part of this most inspiring experience. It really teaches us about how well we can focus. Because if you miss a line, you start to feel, so it requires your attention. So come and experience this. And then on the 11th of August, Thursday 11th August, it will be Raksha Bandhan, and exactly 1 week after that on Thursday 18th, Sri Krishna Janamashtami. So our satsangs after next weekend will start to focus on these 2 events coming up. So those are our announcements. Thank you all for joining us, those of you who are viewing us and those of you who braved the weather this morning to be with us in the Mandir. We pray you will have a very blessed, beautiful, safe and productive week, and see you all on Saturday evening here in the Mandir for Sundarkand Parayan and Hanuman Chalisa. Namaskar.